Hi, welcome to this episode of HuntFlorida TV. I'm Tony Young, and on this episode, we're going to go through a step-by-step process on how you need to prep and plant your food plots for the fall. The first step in getting our food plot site preparated, I guess, before we plant it in October, is to come out here. And right now it's August, and we are going to. I've got some herbicide right there. I've got a sprayer. And this herbicide calls for 5 ounces of the chemical for every gallon of water. So got a bunch of water in some 5-gallon buckets in that cooler behind us, and we're going to get started on the first phase, the first step in getting this food plot ready to plant, and that is applying herbicide. So. To make sure that you spray your plot when it's not supposed to rain later on. This herbicide needs to sit on these weeds and grass for at least 6 hours without having it rain. So. It's been almost 2 weeks now after applying the herbicide, and as you can see, the grass and the weeds are all dead and brown. Then we used a farm tractor with harrows and plowed a nice fire break around our food plot and burned it. After first, of course, obtaining a burn authorization from the Florida Forest Service. Well, as you can see, the burn really did a great job of getting rid of all the unwanted weeds and grass in our food plot. And the ash that's left is really going to help in fertilizing the soil. So next, today, we're going to apply some lime. Most of Florida soil is not very fertile, and except for growing pine trees, if you're going to grow most anything else, you really need to use fertilizer and lime to help counterbalance the higher levels of acidity that Florida's sandy soil has in it. Even though you should fertilize every time you plant a crop, you can really get by with only liming your soil every 3 years. And it's been 3 years since I last did it, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's recommended you contact your county extension office and take some soil samples from your plot and mail them to the University of Florida Soil Lab in Gainesville. And for just a few dollars, they will analyze it and mail you back in a couple weeks the results of your soil pH levels and let you know how much lime to use. If you want your lime to have an impact on your food plot during deer season, you really need to apply it well before the season starts, because it takes a few months for the lime to leach into the soil and become effective in raising the pH levels. You know, the University of Florida's IFAS recommends that you wait until after October 1st to plant your fall cool weather food plots in Florida. Another thing, you want to plant your plot when the soil has got some moisture in it, which it rained a couple days ago, so the soil's got some good moisture in it. And also you want to plant your food plot when there's rain in the near forecast, which it looks like we're going to get some rain later this afternoon. So today's a perfect day to plant. When thinking about good food plot sites, avoid excessively wet or dry areas. Look to create these plantings along an edge where upland pines meet a hardwood drain. Follow the contour of the land, and when possible, create them where the length of your plot runs east-west. That way, your crop will receive the most direct sunlight. All right, we're gonna plant our plot this year with triticale. The deer and turkey really like it, and it does well out here, so that's what we're going to use. But with Florida sandy soil, you know, it's best to stick with rye, wheat, and oat type grains because they work the best in Florida soil. All right, well, as you can see, we got out, I put out all the seeds, so now it's time to put the fertilizer out. I'm choosing 13, 13, 13 this year, and I like to kind of do 2 pounds of fertilizer for every 1 pound of seed. So we're back. Woo! All right, well, not over yet. The toughest part's left to come, and that is I'm going to manually take an old piece of chain link fencing, and I'm going to manually drag it like an old mule across this plot so that it buries the seed and the fertilizer about 1/4 inch, because that's what it wants. So stay with us.